Welcome to Inside China Politics. This channel breaks down China's political system, elite power dynamics, and the deeper logic behind Beijing's decisions. I'm Deng Yuwen. In this episode, I want to share with you an analytical forecast about the escalating tensions between China and Japan. If Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi refuses to retract her remarks on a Taiwan contingency, will Beijing proactively create a crisis in the Taiwan Strait? After Takaichi made her Taiwan contingency comments in Japan's Diet, China-Japan relations quickly froze. Beijing launched a first wave of strong countermeasures, including diplomatic protests, travel advisories, military exercises, and enhanced patrols around the Diaoyu Islands, yet Takaichi has shown no intention of backing down. In earlier analysis, I argued that her remarks touched China's four core red lines: the sovereignty red line, the historical red line, the leadership authority red line, and the strategic red line, concerning the internationalization of the Taiwan issue. From Beijing's perspective, Japan, as a former aggressor, has not fully reflected on its wartime responsibility and is now seen as eyeing Taiwan as part of its strategic sphere. Given this context, if China's reaction fails to force Takaichi to retreat, Beijing would face severe political consequences, domestically and internationally, calling its strength and credibility into question. Beijing may escalate with a combination of countermeasures, recalling its ambassador, downgrading diplomatic relations, cutting rare earth exports to Japan, removing Japan's lighthouse on the Diaoyu Islands, formally raising the undetermined status of the Ryukyus, or even domesticating the UN Charter's enemy state clause to justify future actions. Under normal conditions, these steps would pressure Japan. But today's political climate in Japan is highly nationalistic and increasingly right-wing. The stronger China's pressure becomes, the more Takaichi's domestic support grows. As a result, conventional countermeasures may fail to coerce her into backing down. Given the decreasing effectiveness of all conventional tools, Beijing may contemplate a step it has never previously taken, but one that could instantly reshape the situation: proactively creating a crisis in the Taiwan Strait. Crisis creation here does not mean launching an invasion. Rather, it means generating a high-pressure environment through intense military actions such as combat-oriented blockade drills around Taiwan, declaring parts of Taiwan's air or sea space as temporary military control zones, missile flyovers directly above the island, creating new military flashpoints near Kinmen or Matsu. The real target is not Taipei or Tokyo, but Washington. Beijing's logic is straightforward. Only if the U.S. pressures Tokyo will Takaichi be forced to step back. From Beijing's perspective, the risks are real, but not decisive. U.S. military intervention is less likely than many assume. Washington itself acknowledges that it is unprepared for high-intensity conflict with China. If the crisis is limited, not a full-scale invasion, the U.S. is unlikely to escalate militarily. Sanctioning China would devastate the global economy. Sanctioning China is not like sanctioning Russia. It would mean sanctioning the world supply chain center, something most nations cannot afford. Beijing believes a Taiwan conflict is inevitable. If Takaichi's stance signals Japan's deeper involvement in the Taiwan issue, testing U.S. and Japanese limits earlier may be more advantageous than waiting for a worse moment in the future. If Takaichi remains defiant, the U.S. stays passive, and Japanese nationalism keeps rising, then proactively creating a Taiwan Strait crisis becomes Beijing's most probable option. The timing will likely be after Trump's visit to China next April. If Trump refuses to pressure Tokyo, Beijing will proceed. You've been watching Inside China Politics. That's my forward-looking analysis of the latest escalation in China-Japan tensions. If Beijing truly takes this step, East Asia will enter an entirely new strategic phase. If you find this analysis helpful, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.